Just recently, Russia lost yet another KA-52 attack helicopter over the Sea of Azov, making that more than 40 helicopters lost to date in the 19 months since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine started in February 24th, 2022. According to Baza, the Russian Telegram channel, the helicopter fell in the waters of the Sea of Azov about 1.5 clicks from the coastline on the morning of the 1st of September. The cause given was probably due to bad weather, and also initial reports suggest that the helicopter's two pilots were rescued from the crash. But this is the same helicopter that the Kremlin claims is the best helicopter gunship in the world. And so, why are so many of them falling out of the skies over Ukraine? In this video I'm going to explain exactly what is the Russian wonder weapon known as the KA-52 Alligator, claimed to be unequaled attack helicopter and the best of its kind in the world. We're going to look at just what makes this piece of modern military machinery so unique and whether or not it is everything that the Kremlin claims it to be. And also how it stands up when compared to other similar platforms. My name is Artur Rehi and I am here to keep you informed about the war in Ukraine. If you want to see more topics covered like today's video, subscribe to the channel and push the bell notification. In the early 1980s, the design team came up with an idea to develop a dedicated battlefield reconnaissance helicopter that could also provide target designation, support and coordinate attack operations based on the existing KA-60. But because of a sharp economic decline in the USSR in the late 1980s, that posed severe challenges to the development of this new platform. The Kamov designer general decided to base the new design on a modified KA-50 instead. The new modified Black Shark required a second crew member to operate the additional reconnaissance equipment. A side-by-side seating arrangement was chosen due to the known benefits of crew member cooperation. This twin-seat version was then designated the KA-52. The KA-52 is built as an armed reconnaissance and combat platform capable of taking on the roles of assault, close air support, convoy protection and armed patrolling. For targeting, the KA-52 has an updated radar mounted in the nose cone, giving the KA-52 a rounder looking nose, and a thermal optic sighting system fitted in a spherical turret under the nose with side mounted cannon. The same as the original KA-50 model. The KA-52 has 6 wing mounted hardpoints compared to the 4 on the KA-50. The armor and the ammunition capacity were reduced to keep the weight and performance on par with its predecessors. Because of these additions, some of the flight parameters deteriorated, such as the rate of climb and the maximum positive load factor. Most of the problems were solved by installing a new and more powerful VK2500 engine. The KA-52 is approved for day, night and also adverse weather conditions. Manufacturing first began in 1996. Hey, I was born in 1996, so my manufacturing began in 1996 also. I feel connected to this plane. The KA-52 serial production began by the end of 2008, so mass production, if you could call it that. I mean, it was never really mass produced since only about 150 of them were made ever. The KA-52 entered service in May 2011, with first operational units joining the Russian Air Force at that time. So just a few years before the annexation of Crimea in 2014, this chopper saw the first operational flights. Since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine on February 24th, 2022, because of the unexpected resistance of the Ukrainian people, the Kremlin has had to commit to a steady supply of weaponry of all classes. In terms of air support, Russia has relied not only on jets like the Sukhoi Su-25, but also attack helicopters, such as the Kamov KA-52 Alligator. Russia was said to have more than 100 KA-52 helicopters in service at the beginning of the war with Ukraine. We're talking 2022. So how does this indestructible war machine compare to other helicopters in its class, like the modern United States Apache AH-64? Well, the most striking and apparent difference is that the KA-52 Alligator has coaxial rotor blades instead of the traditional tail rotor for anti-torque stabilization. This gives the Alligator greater maneuverability maneuverability, and Russian media even claims that it is able to rotate 90 degrees on the spot. In terms of performance, the KA-52 Alligator has a top speed of 196 miles per hour, a maximum height of 18,000 feet, and a maximum range of 683 miles, while the latest AH-64 Apache has the top speed of 188 miles per hour, a maximum altitude of 20,500 feet, and a maximum range of 299 miles. For weaponry, the KA-52 Alligator is equipped with a 30mm 2A-42 autocannon mounted under the fuselage that is able to fire up to 550 rounds per minute. The 6 hardpoints can accommodate a variety of weapons, including anti-tank missiles, laser-guided missiles, and rocket launchers for the 80mm rockets. The KA-52K variant can even carry KH-35 anti-ship missiles with a range of up to 80 miles or 129 kilometers. In comparison, the AH-64 Apache is equipped with an M23-0E1 30mm chain gun that fires up to 625 rounds per minute. The Apache is armed with Hellfire air-to-surface missiles with a range of around 8 to 12 kilometers. The AH-64E variant has one very distinct advantage over the Alligator because it is able to control unmanned aerial drones. Apaches can request control of an RQ-7 Shadow or MQ-1C Grey Eagle to act as a scout via data link. Ooh, data link, such a cool term. That means the drone and the Apache are communicating extremely fast and relaying that information to the pilot and to the control center. Although the KA-52 has an advantage in terms of firepower and maneuverability, and also a unique and rare pilot ejection system, for now, because of its advanced drone capabilities, it can be said that the AH-64 Apache helicopter has an advantage in terms of modern battlefield technology. Damn it, this modern battlefield technology. Why is it always in the way of Russian battlefield superiority? If only they had some more modern battlefield technology. So on paper, anyway, the KA-52 is a formidable machine and right up there with the world's leaders in attack helicopter technology like the Apache AH-64. But now, after 18 months of war in Ukraine, what can we say about the performance of the Kremlin's gunship Wunderwaffe? On February 24th, shortly after Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine began, a video of a downed Russian KA-52 helicopter that took part in the Russia's failed attempt to seize the Hostomel airport near Kiev went viral on social media. I have actually personally visited that helicopter 3 times now when I was in Kiev. Operator Starsky told me all about it and how they shot it down. I even brought a piece of it back home. It was melted to a pulp. The Eurasian Time reported on February 27th, 2022, and I quote of the title, "Beijing bewildered as Ukraine shoots down Russia's most advanced attack helicopter on shopping list of Chinese PLA Navy." The China's People's Liberation Army Navy was planning to purchase up to 2 squadrons of the Russian-made coaxial Kamov KA-52K variants, and now questioned the Kremlin's claims of the KA-52 superiority in the modern theater of war. I guess the Chinese also want some more of that modern battlefield technology that is always in the way of Russian supremacy. They just can't seem to get a hold of it. The KA-52 just doesn't have enough of it. Again, on April 5th, 2023, a video began to circulate on social media of yet another KA-52, this time brought down by a Stubna-P anti-tank guided missile. So I'll say that again, an anti-tank guided missile supposed to be fired against a tank guided by a wire, and that was used against the helicopter that was hovering and not moving, and it brought it down. I remember covering that story personally. It was back at the time when I could show these videos. I remember showing that clip. It was unbelievable. In the video you can see the KA-52 hovering at a very low altitude over some trees, allowing the Ukrainian operator to aim and fire a deadly anti-tank missile at the helicopter. So we can see from the timeline of the early days of the war that the myth that the KA-52 Alligator is the world's best gunship was quickly being debunked in the eyes of the international community. I wonder if this myth debunking also has an effect on the Russia's best tank in the world, the Armata T-14. I must be dreaming. There cannot be any connections. Probably the best tank in the world. It would be wrong to claim that the KA-52 helicopter is ineffective on the battlefield, as it possesses a significant threat to Ukrainian heavy armor, fighting vehicles and ground troops. According to the United Kingdom's Defense Intelligence Agency, while Russia has likely lost around 40 KA-52s since the invasion of Ukraine began in February 2022, the helicopter type is still imposing a heavy cost. The helicopter nicknamed Putin's Vulture by Ukrainian media has inflicted heavy losses on Ukraine, suggesting a strategic advantage for Russia in the face of an armored Ukrainian assault. Yes, these choppers are incredibly effective in shooting their missiles against Ukrainian tanks and infantry fighting vehicles. The United Kingdom's Ministry of Defense wrote on Twitter that the KA-52 attack helicopter is, and I quote, one of the single most influential Russian weapon systems against Ukrainian forces' offensive operations in Zaporozhye. Now, I personally would add to that two simple things: the anti-tank mine, the dumb mine filled with explosives, and the anti-personnel mine that Russia has laid down in Ukraine. According to some reports, up to 2 million of those mines. They're dumb, easy to produce. The production logistics chain is scalable, and I think that's one of the most dumbest and effective ways Russia can stop Ukrainian operations. With the current Ukrainian counteroffensive ongoing in the southern Ukraine, the Ukrainian armed forces are struggling with a lack of air superiority, partially due to the presence of the formidable Alligator gunship. In the CNN's analysis of the current situation on the ground entitled "Why the F-16 jets can't come soon enough for Ukraine," it reads, and I quote, "When Ukraine says it urgently needs the F-16s, it is because Ukrainian troops are dying daily because of Russian air superiority." This is directly connected to the KA-52's presence on the battlefield. F-16 could push that KA-52 away from the front, or the chopper would be shot down by an F-16. Michael Clark, a professor of war studies at King's College London, states that the F-16 could help give Ukrainians what military strategists refer to as air superiority. This would mean that the Ukrainians could prevent Russian planes and helicopters from attacking Ukrainian troops on the ground. The quote continues, "At the moment, when Ukrainian forces have to slow down to get over minefields and across barriers, they are very vulnerable to air attacks and other missiles." End of quote. By this quote, he means that Ukrainians have to clear an area from mines, cross the anti-tank ditch. It all takes time and is done under fire. Then they are slowed down and the KA-52s focus their fire onto these kill boxes, which are incredibly casualty heavy for Ukrainians. So although we all get worked up every time we hear about another KA-52 being shot down, and sometimes even two in just one morning, as happened recently on the 17th of August 2023 near Robotine and also near Bakhmut, we shouldn't forget that these heavily armed and capable machines are causing serious challenges for the armed forces of Ukraine. At the same time, it is easy to become complacent when the Kremlin frequently makes wild claims about the KA-52's successes on the battlefield. To back up Kremlin's statements, Russian state media outlet Ria Novosti published a video on Telegram claiming that a nearly minute-long clip was recorded from a KA-52 Alligator attack helicopter as the crew targeted a formation of Leopard 2 main battle tanks, crossing an open field. Now it's the joke part. What really happened, it turned out that the Leopard 2 tanks seen destroyed in a Russian video were actually a combine harvester along with other farm vehicles. Also, even though Ukraine has been enjoying a lot of success in shooting down these gunships, as long as Russia is able to replace these helicopters, they will remain a threat to the Ukrainian forces. So even though the Ukrainian forces may have found recent successes in bringing down Russia's formidable KA-52 attack helicopters, according to a senior official in Kiev, ultimately it is the Russian ability to produce these aircraft that needs to be cut off. After the incidents on Thursday the 17th of August 2023, where two KA-52s were shot down in a single morning, Andriy Yermak, the head of Ukraine's presidential office, said that these helicopters couldn't operate without their foreign components. Yermak wrote in a Telegram post that the Russian helicopters are built with high-tech components that come from places in the West and also in Asia. Though he did not go so far as to name any specific countries, he listed several parts needed for construction of the KA-52, including linear stabilizers, processors, chips, telecommunication transformers, and other equipment. He said that Russia can't produce these technologies, but instead has to import them from other countries. Yermak said sanctions against Russia need to be strengthened. The Russian military-industrial complex should not have access to this technology, yet they do. According to translation provided by CNN, shooting down the KA-52 is great, but it is much better to deprive Russia of the ability to produce it. This is not the first time that Russia has been caught red-handed using parts from foreign countries inside its weaponry. Ukraine stripped down a captured Russian surveillance drone last year and found parts from all over the world, including camera technology that was made in France. Ukrainian investigators have also found Western-produced hardware in the Iranian-made Shahed drones that Russia has been using to terrorize Ukraine's cities cities and attack civil infrastructure. So Iran, over 35 to 40 years under sanctions, still is able to get Western chips, Western components in their drones. How? And so, although the Kamov KA-52 Alligator attack helicopter may not live up to its reputation as the most advanced and powerful modern-day gunship in the world, an image intentionally painted by the Kremlin propaganda machine in an attempt to intimidate Russia's adversaries, with its high maneuverability and impressive firepower, this attack and reconnaissance helicopter clearly poses a significant threat to Ukrainian armament and personnel. And this is not a threat that should in any way be taken lightly. Also, it is not enough for the Ukrainian forces just to shoot down these warbirds one by one or even two by two, because as long as Russian military-industrial complex has access to essential foreign technology, it will continue to manufacture the new KA-52s to use in the unprovoked war of aggression against the Ukrainian nation. And while the introduction of more capable fighter jets like the F-16 and also better and longer range missile systems, including the essential air-to-air and surface-to-air platforms, will help to tip the balance of air superiority in favor of the Ukrainian forces, ultimately, unless the might of the Russian war machine can be defeated militarily, economically and industrially, they will continue to use platforms like the Kamov KA-52 and others to impose their imperialistic and genocidal intentions upon the free and democratic peoples of Ukraine and the rest of the world. My name is Artur Rehi, and this has been my presentation of the Russian Kamov KA-52 Alligator gunship. Thank you for watching, my friends. And now, as I do in every video, I want to thank the patrons who have been supporting this channel for a long time, not blinking an eye, giving me the possibility to just focus on my work. I will read you 5 new patrons, tier 10 and above. Narrator 007, Gavin Ninski, Mark Beard, George Milligan, Andrev Nevman. Thank you to these people. If you like my channel, then patron tier 10 and above, and I'll be butchering your name with my Estonian pronunciation. Also, my friends, go and check out my Instagram. Link is in the description below. I'll see you there. For no apparent reason, just do it. And until my next video, my friends, which is 5 days a week actually, stay cool and bye bye.